Morning. Sunday morning, April the 1st. I went from wearing black shirts to white shirts now, with the reflection of the beauty and coming back to us. Today I'm going to talk about the Pope and the Vatican. Pope has a friend, an old, long-time atheist friend, who is a news reporter of sorts for, I believe, an Italian magazine. And in this magazine, he had a private discussion with the Pope, and it's not quoted, but he said the Pope basically relayed to him this information. He said that there is no hell, that sinners simply disappear or are not reincarnated. So the Pope said that 4 days ago. Well, he didn't actually say it. It was not quoted by the Pope, but it was interpreted by his close friend. So today what I'm talking about is heaven and hell. We live, turn the music off. We live in heaven and hell. And I've been trying to tell people that there is no down below. When we die, we don't go to a hell and tortured. When we die, we don't go up to a heaven, golden gates. None of that exists. What exists, and what the Pope is finally starting to admit, and as religion, starts getting drawn into spirituality, because it's the only way of truth and love. Any religions basically are self-serving, greed and gluttony. So when you have a religion that you can see starting to align with spirituality. So now the Pope's saying, not quoting, but he's saying that there is no hell. And I've been telling people this forever, there's no hell. And what I want to tell you today, that this is it. There are millions of people on this planet right now that if you ask them, they would tell you that they are living in heaven on this earth, and they have known nothing else but this beautiful heaven on this earth. See, now, I know you've all seen the pictures of a person living in the forest in this beautiful house, and how much would you give up to live there for a year? Would you give up your cell phone? Would you give up cable TV? And we all would, because it's heaven on earth. So we consciously make a decision in our lives to not go to these places and stay where we have to suffer with poverty, death, destruction, the ugliness of demons around us that we are not facing as human beings. Basically, we are living, and this is the most important part of this video right here. I want to talk to you, and it's about awakening, and how you become awakened. What is awakening? People want to know. I'm going to tell you what awakening is, and how you become awakened, and how you believe. This is the visible light spectrum as we can see it. This is our light spectrum from here to here. Over here, we have radio and infrared rays. On the other side, we have ultraviolet, X-ray, gamma rays. There's our little spectrum here that we're looking through. What our problem is we refuse to acknowledge that we are living in heaven and hell, and we refuse to acknowledge this by not believing in the things that we cannot visually see that are outside our range. We refuse to acknowledge anything on this side and anything on this side. This is how it goes. I'm going to prove to you. There's a set of magnets here. You've all played with magnets, and you know the force of a magnet. You can't see it, but sometimes it is so strong that you can't even push these things together. There's a strength there that's doing that. This is a dog whistle. All the dogs outside are probably freaking out right now, but you couldn't hear a thing. Why couldn't you hear? Because it's outside of your perception. Now I'm going to prove to you live in heaven and hell. Because outside of your perception of what you're doing to yourself here are the demons. Over here on the radio wave side, people always say, "Hey, is it possible we're getting contact with ghosts on handheld devices, on electronic devices, on electronic tape recorders, anything that has a crystalline radio device in it that sends out a radio frequency or records radio frequencies, contact can happen over here." Now there's ghosts and demons, but we can't see them because they're on the infrared right here on this side, and they're on the gamma side. So we can have a ghost or a demon walk right next to us, pushing on us, shoving us, and we can't see it. But does that mean it's not there? No, because we're in hell, it is there. There's angels here that you cannot see because it's outside of your spectrum. There are demons here. And many people are possessed by demons. Many, many, many people. I'll tell you this because the things that a demon does, regular people do not do. Normal people do not go around shooting up high schools. They don't go around bombing things. These people have been possessed by a demon that has taken over and is getting to its final point of its demise with that person and how much destruction it can do on this earth. But we have our blinders on, and most of us refuse in our lifetime to go, well, this stuff's here paranormal. This stuff over here is paranormal, it's not real. It is real. It is real. Just like this, you cannot see this, what's holding this together, but it is real. This power, this energy that you know is there and it's strong, it is real. That pitch you just cannot hear because your ears were made not to hear that, that was real. Now, the ghosts that live around you, that are outside your visual range, are real. Okay, so you have ghosts and demons that you're dealing with constantly around you. People that are narcissistic, people that have that are attacking you for whatever reason it is. You don't even know people. They're attacking you because you said something or something on this, and you're getting attacked for no reason by people you don't even know. All those people are people that are struggling with an inner demon. Some demons are strong and some are weak. When you're a child, they try to get into you. Because all Native Americans know before the age of 7 that you are not a pure human being. You still walk in the spirit world. So you have your blinders on and you want to be awakened. And the power for you to awaken yourself is to remove these blinders now and take these away and open your mind to come outside the box and acknowledge that you are dealing with things here because you visually can't see them, hear them, or feel them. You are still having to deal with them on earth. These are demons here walking on here. There's a place you can go in a jungle, on a beach, in a forest. That's where the beauty lives, and it's there. And people that live there in these places live beautiful lives without demons, without the ugliness of man intruding on their beauty and their forests and their jungles and their beaches. But it's up to us to take us outside. We can go to these places. We can get away from the ugliness of man. We can move to the outskirts of town. We can move into the hills and into the forest and into the faraway places that give us space to be away from all these demons and entities that would be around us. In the city, it's just so much of them. It's so much in the city that to be in the country, you're going to run into less demons, less of everything that's going to try to control you or hurt, manipulate you, damage you, your family, your kids. So this is awakening. What is awakening is acknowledging that you're dealing with things around you that you cannot see. So then you have these bad things. So then when you start acknowledging the bad things around you, these bad entities, you also have to acknowledge that you've got the good entities. You've got the love of Buddha, you've got the love of Jesus, you've got the love of Muhammad, you've got the love of all the great gods, not just one God, all the gods. You have their love and protection. So if you acknowledge whatever God you love, you acknowledge Him, and you pray to Him, you ask for Him for shielding and protection from these things that are around you, they will do that. Because when you acknowledge and they see that you took your blinders off, they say, hey, we can work with this person because they're going to do the right thing in their life. They're going to come from love. They're going to be able to enlighten others and help other people. So we'll begin working with them. So you get that shielding and protection from the spirit world, from entities, and then you also become aware of people, human beings that are around you, family members, friends, anything, acquaintances that are possessed. They have a demonic spirit in them. All alcoholics do. I've never met an alcoholic that hasn't had an entity or two in them. Straight up evil people. You can see it when you look in their eyes. Charles Manson had that classic look. You look into his eyes and you saw evil right there. You saw the demon. It was very strong and it didn't hide in his back. It was actually far front in his character. It was very, very strong in his character. So most demons hide back and they wait to attack at certain spots when they do. But certain ones are so strong that you can see them walking in the street with their chest out and they're all doped out and they're doing crazy shit and they're out of their fucking minds. And you can see them walking in the street. Every car that goes by, they look at them and they're out. That's a fucking demon that's not trying to hide inside his body anymore. He's just straight up outside. And I see that when I'm driving down the street, I'm like, whoa, look at this fucking creature right here, in this poor guy's body. And I can't do nothing for him because there's thousands of them. You can't do nothing for him. All you can do is see the people that are struggling with small demons inside and acknowledge to them, like, dude, you have this little demon inside you that's fucking with you. You need to open your blinders and realize, burn your candles, burn your sage, ask for the protection from whatever you beautiful God that you pray to that loves you. Ask for that protection. Take this off. See the rays. Understand there's forces that you cannot see. You cannot see them. But this is real. Strong. Pulling together and turn it the other way. It pushes apart. You cannot see that, but it's real. You cannot see the demons. They're real. You cannot hear the dog whistle, but it is real. You got to realize that when we were created thousands of years ago to be a worker, they just basically took a great being and they turned everything off. We got 20% of the brain working, so they turned off to 80%. When you take the blinders off, as you do, then all the little mechanisms start turning on and you start getting clairvoyance starts coming on, the telepathic starts coming on. When you start getting connected and speaking to your spirits and your guides and the ones that shield you and love you, then all those mechanisms in your brain start coming back on and slowly you awaken from the 20% in your brain to 25 to 30 to 50% in your brain's working. And you're going and you're understanding that what your brain is doing is capable of now reaching down to brains that are still in the 10 and 12% of function, and you can boost them up by helping them pull their blinders off. That's what you're going to do, right? So awakening is acknowledging the spirit world, acknowledging stop saying it's paranormal, because this is actual places. It's not a paranormal place. Just because you couldn't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Know that you're dealing with it. Understand the Pope told you the other day, through a friend, he said, there's no hell. You just simply do not resurrect, you disappear. That is what the Pope said. I'm telling you, there is no heaven, there is no hell. This is it. It's what you make of it. You put yourself in that place. I put myself in this heaven. I am in heaven. And every day I want to share this heaven, and I make this because I'm up here already and I get it. And I want you to understand and get it. There's a lot of people that talk about enlightenment and what it is and how to become awakened, but they don't actually show you what it's about. They're not showing you the science of mathematics, the beauty and symmetry of removing this and opening all this area, all these other areas to understand that you're working with, whether you like it or not, they're there. Namaste. One love.